The final statement of law, a return to balance. People of the world, to the citizens living on our Dagun, and to the servants of the corporate entity known as the Australian Government. We speak from the unceded Murri power of the Kabi Kabi Nation. We speak not to protest, but to proclaim a truth that ends the fiction you have lived under. We are the original Bloodline Custodians. Our law is the first and only true law of this land. Your own legal scholars have now confirmed that we have always known the authority you obey is a lie. We hold in our hands an admission from your own system. It confirms that the Queen of Australia is a legal fiction, separate from the Queen of the United Kingdom. Yet, your Constitution remains a British Act, recognising only the UK monarch. In saying this, when Lieutenant Cook sailed away without taking possession of any land, the British lost any entitlement. This means the Queen of Australia has no legal power to appoint your Governor-General, and without lawful Governor-General, no law passed in this country for decades has any valid authority. You have not been living under the rule of law. You have been living under the rule of a corporation, enforcing policies, not legitimate laws. And this corporation, this fiction, has broken every single one of its own foundational rules to maintain its theft. It broke the 1381 statute of forcible entry. The moment its first settlers stepped ashore without consent, an act of criminal trespass. It broke the 1763 Royal Proclamation by taking possession of our lands without treaty, without consent, and without honour. It broke the Mabo decision by continuing to act as if its radical and titular title is absolute, ignoring the truth of our unceded Murri power. And now we know it broke its own constitution. It has no valid chain of authority. It is a ghost governing by deception and force. This is the great secret they have concealed. Australia is not a nation. It is a concealed colony, a corporate trust operating a brutal, illegal occupation. To the police and public servants, you have been misled. You swore an oath to the Crown that does not legally exist here. Your duty is not to enforce the policies of a corporation. Your duty is to uphold the true law. We now exercise our inherent unceded sovereignty. We revoke all consent for this corporation to operate on our land. We call for a return to balance. Australian government must consult all nations across this continent until lawful authority is established. We will establish a tribunal under our law to be witnessed by international bodies to audit the extent of the trespass and determine repatriation. Any future agreement for shared stewardship must be negotiated with the true power of this land. Myself speaking as an elder on behalf of my Kabi Kabi bloodline and founded on the proper laws of both our law and the legitimate law or Crown law of the United Kingdom, whose laws were first broken. The time of truth has begun. We, the Kabi Kabi bloodline, to our da, do secede from the colony, Australia. We are declaring that the colony, Australia, as a legal entity, has never validly existed on our soil. Your political union was always an illegal fiction on our land. Therefore, our secession is merely the formal recognition of a pre-existing truth. We are the law of this land. We always have been. The corporation must now vacate the premises, and the people must choose. Will you continue to serve a fiction, or will you help us restore true law and balance for all? The choice is yours. Act justly. They had to listen to the orders that he's given to them, but they chose not to. So these, the King George has actually sent them an instruction to not allow men and or women into Kabi country who are going to cut down the trees or build houses. That was an instruction. So what they've done from a fella called Bowen on, maybe before that, they have ignored that instruction. And with this Bunya proclamation, they have hidden it so nobody could find it. And in hiding it, they actually tried to kill off all the Kabi Kabi mob, so the Kabi Kabi mob had no leg to stand on. We, the Kabi Kabi mob, are actually here. We're here right now.
They've never left.
And we've never left. We've never ceded our lands.
And this document is proof of their treason to the king.
So we're not blaming the Crown here, we're blaming the colonies that were set up, and the governing bodies now is part of those colonies. So the councils, the local councils, the state government, the federal government, they're all part and parcel of the rot that they have actually done on not only us as the originals, but to everybody. They pull the wool over our eyes first, but we've removed that wool and we see it for what it is. So they are all accountable for their actions.